Hey guys, welcome to Celia's Playlist. I am here with writer and producer Calito from the Netherlands. Calito, how's your day going?
Hi, Celia. Well, yes, thank you. Thank you first. It's going well. It's going good. Thank you. And you?
It's going pretty well. I always like my interview days because I get to talk to some really interesting people, which brings me to you. Calito, tell us a little bit about your musical history.
Yes, thank you. Yes, my name is Calito. I am from the Netherlands. I live in Maastricht. Furthermore, I make reggaeton music, but I like to experiment with the EDM sounds combined with rap.
I like the fact that you are taking from multiple different kinds of genres and bringing them into one. How does that work in terms of your writing process?
It's la vida. It's vibes. It's like dancing, you know. Once you get the rhythm, you be like, okay, I'm going with the flow. I got these inspiration, and let's make a hell of a song. Yes.
I feel you. I feel like the different genres that you mentioned, a lot of like, the vibe when you go to those types of shows and those types of concerts is very like it brings people together. So I like the cross section that you're kind of at. That's a really cool spot to be. And I wonder what, like, a little bit about kind of the influences that brought you there.
Yes, thank you. Yes. You got time. I got many influence. You know, I really
Go
love
for it.
the Latin culture. So Daddy Yankee was for me also an inspiration. Like when I grow up, when I first heard Gasolina, I was a little boy. I was like, wow, wow, what sound is this? You know, but Don Omar, that wow. Yeah, I also grew up with the sounds of Pharrell Williams. Also a huge inspirator for my music as a person, but all the discipline what he has to his products, what he delivers. So basically, those two, yeah, are major have some major influence on my music.
You know what? I've actually seen Daddy Yankee perform.
Wow.
Fun fact: I was at a recording of the Jimmy Kimmel show when he was in Brooklyn, and Stevie Wonder came and gave everyone tickets to a title relief show that they were putting on for, I believe it was the hurricane that happened, or something that happens down in Puerto Rico. So they
Mm.
had all different kinds of rappers. They had all different kinds of Spanish acts, and I just remember like they did Gasolina on stage, and I was like, I know this
Wow.
one. This is so cool, and it was a really interesting and fun experience. I feel like like you said, the vibe and the energy, especially in that kind of Latin music, just keeps you like in a fun and happy place. You know what I mean? Like
Mm. Yes.
it keeps you going, and it probably is something that helps raise the vibe of people across the world, like in terms of like the vibe that they're feeling on any given day.
Yes. It unites. Yes. Definitely.
So
Definitely.
like how do these types of themes kind of make their way into your music? Like tell me a little bit about your writing style.
Yes, it's all about vibes. Mostly, I work with Lucky. He's a producer. He also lived in Los Angeles. Worked with the artists also in Atlanta. When he just plays, he just freestyles. I get these vibes. I get these images. I'm a very vivid image what I see, and I also go back to my memories, and it all combines to one. All my writings, all my music, what I produce, are just based on real life events. And sometimes I just see the picture, I just see the vision. I'm like, okay, Lucky, just play on the piano, and yeah, then the magic happens.
That's really cool. So, like, when you're working with him, is it something that you're working remote from where you are and where he is, or do you actually travel there?
I travel, you know. I always follow him. I always follow him. We both came from a little city in the Netherlands, and yeah, if he's in Amsterdam, if he's in Utrecht, if he's in different big area, I'll be there. You know, it doesn't matter how long I have to drive, I'm there.
That's really cool. Do you think that the traveling and the new experience, like, affects the music that you're making on that trip?
yeah, you will get inspiration. Yeah, my mind is constantly it's processing, perfectioning. Like, I can do this better. I can do that better. Sometimes I have a chorus in my head at the most stupid moments, like you're a shower or you lay in bed. I'm like, oh man, I got this hook in my head. I need to record it. Then I record it and I always send it to Lucky. He's like, bro, what do you think about it? He's like, well, man, that shit lit. We got to work on it. So it's just chemistry we have.
I love that. And I feel like I get my best ideas when I do that. So like, for me, I was working like a crazy person, but when I started scaling back and I had time and I was doing different things, like, you'll be cooking dinner and you're like, "Oh, wait, this is a great idea." So I'm glad that you actually like take those ideas and turn them into something because a lot of
Yes.
people just let them go.
No. No.
You got to you got to
No, I
keep them,
can't.
right?
No.
So what like I know that I have a song of yours on the Void, but what is the favorite of your songs that you've been working on? Like, what was the one that was the most special to you and why?
The most special. I have two. Like energy. It was in the Corona pandemic time, and I always wanted to make a trap house song. In Holland, we have Yellow Claw. They are huge. They're innovators in their own kind of house music. Especially the Netherlands are just one big ass house mega product. So I always wanted to make a song like like Yellow Claw, and it popped off. It popped off. I was like, oh wow, I got these radio interviews, and I'm just getting climbing the ladder. So that was cool. Duro, you know, that wasn't the time that we're lucky was signed to a label, and we went there, and in that area you have all these big Dutch artists walking around. I didn't see them, but I heard them names. I was like, it's it, I'm getting there. It's like wow, it's awesome. But he said, Calito, listen, I got this beat, and you're gonna like it. It's sexy, it's hot, it's you're gonna love it. And when I heard that beat, I was like, wow, wow. I must think about my one of my ex girlfriends. He was caliente. He was fine. I was like, okay, I see that. I go, okay, it's going to be a hot song. So it was a hot song, and also the video clip making. It was the video shoot. It was very funny, but yeah, those two, Duro and Energy.
Very cool, very cool. So for people that aren't familiar with the Netherlands scene over there, because I know like, I'm over in the United States. I know that there's a lot of EDM, there's a lot of electronic music. Like, for me, like here in America, like it's a mix of music. There's a lot of pop music, there's a lot of music that's on TikTok on the radio. Like
Hmm.
what is kind of the landscape over there of I guess a typical day in music? Like, what do people listen to over in the Netherlands? I'm only asking because I'm in New York. I'm in a whole different ball game over here.
Yes. Yeah, the Netherlands, they like the trends of America. So if you go to general rap,
Hmm.
and it's crazy in this time, we have some new varieties that will pop up, like Narco Pop from Mula Bay.
Okay,
It's
cool.
kind of a different new thing in the Netherlands. Um, if you listen to rap, it's more like live gangster rap.
Cool.
Um, but you have also happy music, reggaeton music. When I'm busy, you know, I really like that. I really like that. So and you got this Dutch pop music, Dutch pop culture, singer songwriter, and the Euro Songvision from Joost Klein. Did you hear that? It's like the
I
house
know what
music.
you're talking about, but I haven't heard it. Like it's
Ah,
very interesting to hear you talk about this because like, here it's very like you hear Taylor Swift, Doja Cat, like, people like that, like very just like what you would expect off of like something like TikTok. But it's really interesting to hear around the world like the different kinds of like, artists and the different kinds of music that's happening over there. So like this is really interesting to me.
yes, yes. Yes, it's very cool. Um, Next week I'm going to singer-songwriter Douwe Bob. He also performed a couple years ago at Eurozone Vision. I really like their music. It's in the style of John Mayer. I saw John Mayer
Very cool.
live in the Netherlands. I love him. You know, his music, his lyrics are so deep. That's also what I like. But typical Dutch house music, you know, we are so good in house music. It's so weird. It's so strange, but it's so high, top notch level. Everywhere you go in the world, you will hear Dutch influence in house music. It's crazy.
You know, house music is the thing that I do associate with, like, you know, the Netherlands and Dutch people. Like, you know, there's been things that have translated into like both American culture, but like, you know, even like if you look at the writing credits, like some of the biggest pop songs in America have been influenced by Dutch producers.
Hmm.
So it's really like a cool niche, and it's like one of those things where you don't exactly know. Like if you trace everything back, it's like where does it go to, and it always comes back to like, you know,
Yeah,
the house producers from the Netherlands. It's really cool.
it's awesome. It's something special. Like it was a shame that Chesto couldn't perform at the Super Bowl. That will be the ultimate top of the iceberg. Yeah, top of the cherry, top of the cake, how you call it in English. But you know that will be like bucket list things for a Dutch artist to perform at that highest level in America. It's an honor.
I wanna circle this back to you, even though I could talk about influences and things all day. So like, you know, maybe one day they'll play the Super Bowl, but until that day, let's get you to the Super Bowl. No, I'm kidding.
That will
um,
be awesome. Yeah,
that would be
sure.
really cool. So Calito, so I know that like we had spoken a little bit earlier about how your inspirations come to you throughout every day. When you are writing, like, how do you go about writing? Is it like, you know, you come up with lyrics and then you come up with a beat? Are you given a beat and then you come up with lyrics? Is it something that you freestyle and then you find something really good, you know, from playing things back in the studio? Like, what is your process?
Yo, I have a vision. Um, Most things will come back from the past to this area. I also study my followers. I study my people who engage with my music. And I had a conversation with an old manager. He told like it's house music, you know, if you can make it your own thing. And that's why I got a contact with Noah from Black Rainbow Group. He has his own record label, own label, distribution label, where I just released my two songs. And this guy is huge. This guy is like the biggest man in the industry from the Netherlands. All top artists has worked with them. So I was like, okay, I'm this kid. I'm a city boy. I want to prove myself. Like, okay, let's do it. I'm going to blow your socks off. I'm going to let's get him, man. So I made these tracks. I've just spammed this guy like crazy. Like was a fan. Like no, I know, I know, I know. You gotta check my music. No, did you check my music? Ah, and eventually he checked it and approved it, and I released my music. It was like it was so huge for me because this guy has worked with my favorite artist in the Netherlands. I was like, wow, this is the guy behind the scenes. If you can connect with him, you know, if you can get yourself in the picture, and he can pitch his music to yeah, Warner Bros. And all those great companies. So that was really a trigger, and then you get this chemistry that will come loose in your mind. Like I'm so relaxed. I don't have the problem like, oh, I'm going to write or do this. No, I have this vision. Just I hear the beat, I see a project. I'm just freestyling, just singing. Okay, okay, this could be cool. And I'm also checking other artists, other producers, and I heard the sounds. I'm like, okay, I get inspiration, and then I combine it to a product, and it's like magic. Lucky is that you have to hear this, and I have this in my head. Can you translate it into a beat? He's like, say less, fam, and he made that, and yeah, everything is history.
I really like that process because, like, being able to take steps back and see a whole vision is something that not everyone can do. Sometimes they're too close to everything and then they're, like, stuck on all the small details. But it seems like you have this ability to have, like, a bigger picture. You can see, like, okay, this is a beat that like, can resonate with, or this is a beat that I know is in my head, but, like, being able to communicate that is, like, a skill in itself. So that's like, I feel like I resonate with the style that you kind of go. Like, people bring me ideas, and I'm like, is that an idea for me? I don't know. Yes, no. And then that's where you can develop beautiful things. Especially, I do a lot of music videos and a lot of music content. So, like, having the right kind of artist bring me the right kind of idea, I can bring that up 17 levels rather than
Wow.
someone being like, hey, like, I want to do this thing, and then they don't have that vision. You know what I mean? Like, if they don't have a vision
Hmm.
at all, how am I supposed to help them elevate it? So I feel like
Nice.
that's kind of like the opposite end that your producer probably has with you, where, like, you come in, you say, hey, I have this is gonna be awesome, and then he's just like, oh, I see it, let's go, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And we talked a lot about America. I really like America. I love it. I really want to see it one day. I really want to go to the Spanish side of America and get to the culture. I really want to experience that. And I envy my producer because he lived that. He went there. He did that. It's like, wow, you went to America. Wow, you work with artists there. Like, wow, you went to the club. Like, wow, you met some girls from America. Wow, it's
Hey,
kind it's weird. From Europe we always look like America's like as our big brother.
see, for me, I'm like, I want to go to Europe. I want to go and take like a backpack trip and just go everywhere. So, like, I feel like it's an interesting, like, everyone wants to like, grass is greener on the other side type thing. Everyone wants to see how everyone else is living. But hopefully you do make it over here, and if you come to New York, let me know.
Yes, I will.
Awesome, awesome. So, Calito, I want to ask you the question that I ask everyone on this podcast, this interview.
Mhm.
And you can take this in any direction that you would like. So, for someone that wants to get into music now, what would be your biggest advice to them in whatever direction?
Don't do it for the money. Don't um, don't make it too hard. Just it's your passion, and you have to be disciplined. Don't be naive. Do your homework. You can literally find everything on the internet, for God's sakes. Back in the days it was hard, like 15 years ago, 20 years ago, but now it's easy. You don't always need a record label. Watch out for contracts. Just always get them fact checked by a lawyer. And create. Don't think about, oh, I have to do this, it's not that. No, you have to be productive and make a brand, because you're an artist, but you're also a brand. People want to align with you. People want to identify with you. So you have to think as a business model. Yeah, just do your homework, for God's sakes, and don't be lazy. Don't think, oh, just make a track, upload it to YouTube. No, it's more than that. Much more than that. If you have discipline, you can come really far in this life, but you have to be, yeah, disciplined.
I couldn't agree more. I talk to artists all the time, and they're like, I did the thing. Why isn't it going anywhere? And I'm like, sitting there, like, did you send it to any publications? Did you do this? Did you make content around it? Did you do any of the things
Hmm.
that you're supposed to do? So I'm glad that, like, that's the advice that you had. Like, you gotta work for it. You gotta make sure that you're dotting your i's and crossing your t's and making sure everything is there. So that's awesome. So
Yeah, yes, you
yeah,
gotta hustle for it.
100%. And that's why we're here. We're hustling for things right now.
Yeah.
We're reaching out to different audiences and doing some cool stuff. So, Calito, where can people follow you and where can people find your music?
Yes, Instagram life of Calito, You can find me also Spotify. There's some other Calitos, but you can always identify me with the Pharrell hat. You know, it's like a signature to him, tribute to him. And the other Calitos, yeah, they're
They're just
whack.
other Kalitos.
Yeah, they are other Calitos, but they are really whack. You know, I say that I don't take my words back. They are whack. But this one Calito with the hat, and he's cool. He's dope.
Awesome, awesome. So, Calito, thanks for hanging out with me and being a part of both, the Void and the Playlist Project. I really appreciate it. And I guess for everyone else, make sure you're following Calito, and I will see you guys on the next interview. Bye, guys.